Well, we're back, everybody. We thought that 8 episodes.
Oh, look at this.
Here we go.
How dare you attack these cultural icons and heroes?
It's funny
What's
you say
called
that. Everybody who like disagreed with them on their Kenobi take, was just in our spheres and stuff. Other people were like, "Wow, you turn on them the second you disagree with them." And it's like, well, I disagreed with them the second I disagreed with them.
Agree with them? Yeah.
Like, there's nothing,
Yeah, you could disagree without. Like,
You have
like,
no
hating on
loyalty.
someone.
And then I was thinking, like, wait,
Terrible.
wouldn't you just criticize the reverse if I did the reverse? He's like, wow, you can't disagree with your heroes, can you? And you're like,
Yeah.
I got kind of baffled by it.
Bootlicker.
I feel like I have to do this caveat for some reason. It's like, I like Red Letter Media. I'm still watching them after having heard the opinions that are shared in this video.
No. Once a YouTuber gives an opinion you don't like, you have to unsubscribe and never watch them ever again.
Yeah. Well,
What's the
He only has
opinion
one
on what's the
comment on it.
movie? What are they reviewing?
well, to give you an idea, in the first half, they said that Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, and they're talking about, like, throughout Star Wars is a boring character,
Right.
which was interesting.
Old Ben.
It's just not the kind of take you'd expect from big Star Wars fans. You'd be like, oh, you didn't like Obi-Wan Kenobi? Like, okay.
How strange. How very strange.
Well, I mean, everyone in the
He
prequel was
didn't
kind of
do
boring,
much.
so
Hey,
I mean, what did he really do? Kind of nothing.
if you, all right, fine. You know what?
Oh my.
I mean, he just saw he like died and stuff, but
In the
right?
prequels?
no. In the original.
the prequels? Yeah, I'm talking about the original.
Oh, he's even cooler in that one.
Do they like him in the prequels? I don't. These
No,
guys
they
don't like the
hate the
prequels. These
prequels.
guys hated the prequels.
This is why-
Yeah, exactly.
Stitch may be the only one that'll try and go Defense Force for these guys, but he's going to struggle.
Well, I
with
haven't
this one.
seen Obi-Wan, the TV show, so I can't really defend.
Ooh,
it.
Yeah, I
this is
haven't
gonna be
seen Kenobi either, obviously, because everyone
Oh.
said it was garbage. I listened to you guys. I was like, why do
I
I want to waste
know.
my time with this?
You may be
this
surprised to
trash?
find out, Serge, that their most controversial opinions aren't even about Kenobi in this video. They're about
okay,
Return of the
interesting.
Jedi.
What are
Ooh,
really?
interesting.
Is
This is
Ben
going to-
in Return of the Jedi, or I mean, he's like a space ghost, right?
Yeah, he. Yes.
Space Ghost.
Yes, he comes back as a talk show host and
He's like a blue hologram, right? He talks a little
correct.
bit and stuff. Yeah.
So,
What's he say? Like use the Force?
Probably. I don't remember. Nobody
Right.
does.
Okay.
See what
He
their
tells them
opinions
little
are.
teddy bears to use the Force.
Is he in Empire Strikes Back?
Who, Obi-Wan?
Not really.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Kenobi.
doesn't.
No,
shows
he's
up
dead
on,
by then. He doesn't show up.
Oh, you're
He
right. Yeah,
shows
he's
up-
dead. Yeah.
He dies in the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The fourth one, rather. Sorry, I don't want to mix people up.
8 episodes of the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. So I said, let's film 4 and then 4 more. But it turns out there's only 6.
By the time you get to the sixth episode, I was actually enjoying it more than I had the previous episodes because I was like, hey, it actually feels like it's going somewhere.
I wonder what
my
you would be
brain,
referring to
my
as going
brain,
somewhere.
my brain.
It's
He
going.
just
Can't do
totally.
this.
He just gave you
Can't
the
do
big
this.
fuck you right there.
I mean, the
Well, that's one way to approach assessments, whether or not stuff
There's
is happening.
blood coming out my nose
going
and
somewhere.
ears.
I was liking it because it was going somewhere. So was the train to Auschwitz. Just because you're going somewhere doesn't mean that it's a good thing.
Of course you went there.
I mean,
Oh boy.
there's a lot of movies that don't go anywhere, so that's usually bad in a movie or a TV show.
I wish
so.
most of the new MCU things never went anywhere. The problem with a lot of those movies is that they go everywhere so much all the time.
Hang on,
Going
hang on.
all at once.
Now I
going
need to
somewhere
know
bad is better than not going anywhere, though.
what's the definition of going somewhere? Is this like the film depicting them changing location, or going
It's
somewhere? as in
literal,
the
Shad.
plot
The fact that they
progressing?
move from room to room.
Like, like so, the plot moving forward.
Yes, that's
the
what I would
issue,
think he
isn't it?
means. Yeah,
goal,
the
they're trying to
story.
accomplish it,
Yes,
you know.
there's
But what
there's some
about like a waiting for
conflict.
Godot kind of
Trying to
film where it's
overcome
basically
a
just
challenge.
2 characters talking?
Well, here's the problem. Things do move forward in episode 1, 2, 3, 4. They're escaping across this new planet they're on, and Vader personally lands and comes after Kenobi, and they have a big fight. Obi-Wan
Wow.
narrowly escapes, and Leia is captured. They infiltrate a base to break out Leia in Episode 4, and Wade dies.
Not Wade.
Oh, Wade! Oh, Wade!
That was rough, man. When Wade died.
I was gonna say that was a weird delayed
Oh,
reaction from all of you. I thought he was
damn.
like your favorite character.
Yeah, he was. That's why there was a delayed reaction. It's
It
like
took,
my
like,
heart had to catch
dealing
up.
with
yeah,
my
it took a
heartbreak.
second.
Yeah, I was just sort of like
Wade.
dumbstruck when you brought up his name. I just didn't know what to.
I guess I'm sorry for bringing that up. Actually, that's tender. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you need to put a trigger warning whenever you bring up Wade's death.
We get it back, and then, well, yeah, that's the 4 episodes they were talking about where nothing happened. Although it's not going anywhere, I guess.
Ouch.
But this is what I mean.
Listen.
Like, I think it's bad, but I wouldn't have said it's not going anywhere. He's supposed to get Leia back, and that's over those 4 episodes he is. So.
Technically, a lot of stuff happened. It was just all crap.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I guess to Jay, just seeing Obi-Wan and Vader fight each other. We got this in Episode 3. They fought, and then neither of them died.
With
You know?
their chunky lightsabers.
My overall opinion hasn't really changed much. I still like it. Other than the Mandalorian season 1, this is
Painful.
the most I've liked Star Wars in the last 35 years.
It's so depressing.
Really?
Yeah.
Kenobi is the
Yeah.
worst of the shows, and I don't even think it's
Fascinating.
close.
Listen. The expectations for Star Wars are so low that they're like battered,
Nice.
spouses.
Yeah.
Okay, they're just like,
But-
please, anything.
It's like unironically, the prequels are just better than Kenobi.
Wow. Okay. Wow. That's a bold claim.
That would be
I
tough for
don't-
these
I
guys
don't
to
think
admit,
it is.
even if they
I mean,
believe
the
it.
prequels are better than a lot of things, let's be honest.
I guess we'll
Shall we
see
hit
some more
play?
opinion. Yes.
But I'll say, because you guys liked the other episodes more than I did, because you were paid by Disney, clearly. That was a real thing people were saying because people are idiots.
Yes, Disney
Did
paid me to
4
say it
people
was
say
super
that?
I mean,
old.
you'll find them. They're out there.
Wait. I think people probably did likely say that, but hyperbolically, as in we're so disappointed with you. You probably paid by
Right,
Disney
yeah.
just as a.
But, you know,
And so-
like people have done that with us. We got that when, like, what was it? I think it might have been it was something to do with Disney.
Was No Way Home?
Oh, it could have been No Way Home.
a
Yeah.
Sony film that's mainly financed and distributed by
Well,
Sony.
I think
But-
people see MCU and they assume Disney, which isn't like
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, well, I in all fairness, I thought you guys were paid off by Disney as well with that one. Like, just disappointed.
yeah, hard to believe the check bounced.
Okay.
Yes, that was clearly a video sponsored by Disney. These last 2 episodes were pretty decent Vader.
That was a pretty.
It's so shit. It's so.
No!
You expect so much.
Vader
from
is
him.
an absolute retard in these episodes.
Yeah, but clearly
Correct.
he's entertaining a lot of people, so he must be a pretty good character.
Hey, cheap shot across the bow.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Oh, right.
They absolutely.
I expect better
How-
from Red
how
Letter Media
short?
specifically. Because they should know, people who are really into movies and who talk about them all the time and review them, I'm like, oh, it hurts to hear Red Letter Media talk about how good these episodes were when they're so bad. It's demoralizing a little bit, but you're like, oh well.
Ain't nothing new. They praised whatever the Force Awakens highly.
I don't know if they still
Yeah.
praise it. I don't know.
Yeah, probably at this point.
I
they're
think-
like,
Well, I still think it's
Well,
better than the
in-
prequels. That's
In the
true.
Rise of
To be fa-
Skywalker
yeah.
review, I think Jay specifically said like the worst thing to happen in cinema in the last decade was the success of The Force Awakens or something like that. Something similar to that.
yeah.
But
that
that
was
could-
later.
no,
down
that
the line.
could mean a couple things though, couldn't it?
I guess it could,
Yeah.
especially from his perspective.
Yeah,
which
he
is
might say it is a
bizarre
good
one
film,
anyway.
but it created clones or a model that everyone wanted to copy. You know, I
Maybe.
don't know exactly what, because you were right thinking about the whole like they would never concede that the sequels are worse than the prequels. I don't think, because I would at this point argue it's like they staked a lot of their positions on Star Wars.
Yeah,
on
of
the prequels being the
course.
worst content that destroyed everything.
Yep.
Sorry, I missed though what
invested.
Rag said.
What?
The Jay quote.
No, something about entertainment. I missed it.
I guess I found Vader entertaining.
Oh, for sure.
Jay
lot of
said
people
that
did.
it's like the best, like really good Vader content. The last 2 episodes.
A lot of people did, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Mhm.
people did. A lot of people found it entertaining.
That would
Mm.
make it entertaining for them, definitionally, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, tautologically, yes, that is true. If you were to phrase it that way, that would be correct. Yes.
So do you consider it entertaining then?
No.
Generally.
No, I don't consider it entertaining. No.
I mean,
So then then it would be impossible for anyone to find it entertaining.
That's not true. People clearly find it entertaining.
I
What are you
was-
talking
So
about?
therefore,
I don't
it
know
must
that
be
I-
entertaining in some way, Shad.
I
You
might
asked
say that I'm
me if it was
entertained by
entertaining.
it.
If it is objectively not entertaining, no one would be able to find it entertaining.
If it was objectively
Weren't-
not entertaining, that
weren't
would
we
be
moving on
true.
from this?
I don't
What
know how
happened?
you claim that.
Well, no, Rags mentioned
What
it. I'm just
happened?
exploring it further. I like this subject, so I have no objection bringing
Well,
it up.
just to clarify,
My point is, there's obviously a scale, okay? It is entertaining to at least some level. It must be.
We agree
Otherwise,
that it is
no one could
entertaining
find
to
it.
some level to many people.
Okay.
Yes.
Wonderful.
That was never in doubt.
well, because I was just going to say that I think I might be comfortable in saying I found this part entertaining, but I was more so laughing at it.
I found it entertaining watching it with you guys. I don't know how entertaining.
Like, I'm not sure. if I would
It's
say
Okay,
that
wait.
word.
When
Entertaining
he
is
says-
such a flump word.
When he says, "So you've come here to kill me," I think all of us were entertained by that line.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yes.
In the wrong way, though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
Not for their
You're not
intention.
supposed to be laughing at the.
It did not
entertained by the
fulfill their
cringe.
purpose with us. I
No.
think
It held your attention, though, right?
it certainly did.
I'd say so. Also, we got
It's really
two
all
new
intention.
folk who have just joined us. That Star Wars girl, Anna, and Glidis. Hello.
Hello.
You gotta really draw out the
Welcome.
gore.
Why did you said you had watched Kenobi? Why?
I was told to because it would be funny. And it was. I had a lot of fun watching it because it's so.
That was a pretty exciting fight scene.
The last episode fight, but even before that, when he's fighting Reva and he's putting in like no effort because he doesn't have to.
Yeah, he doesn't have to because she does all those weird Dark Souls rolls for no reason.
Hey, hang on. I know all the fight scenes are garbage. I have a fight scene autopsy I did on my channel breaking all the fight scenes down in the series. Which fight scene specifically did they say was pretty decent, though?
Let's say in both the
Was it the
final
last-
fight with Vader and Kenobi and the fight with Reva and Vader.
So the final fight doesn't have complete crap. There actually is the occasional complex bit of choreography that's half decent, but most of it's crap. The Reva one was pretty dog crap all over. He disarms her by kicking her in the shin at one point.
You've never done that?
Friggin' retarded. Oh my.
One of the things beyond the choreography that's bad is the camera work, dude. Like all of it is like handheld and just shaking around and shaky. It looks
constant
so.
cuts.
It's so uncoordinated and like not purposeful. Like the prequels, like say what you will about the choreography, but at least like they shot those like
So you can see it.
clearly and like
Hang on, hang
yeah.
on.
It's,
The choreography in the prequels is top tier.
oh yeah, your
And-
Revenge of the Sith breakdown. Yeah.
Dad,
Yeah.
I needed your soul when I was in that call, and Destiny was saying the fights were way better in the sequels.
When I heard that, I was like, oh
God.
man, I want to come on.
That was
It hurts.
pain, because yeah, and I think at one point there was like a hint of the idea of like, as we don't just judge fights by choreography. It's like entertainment or emotional value, I think was what was said. Because there's no emotional value in the fights in the prequels at all, according to some people. Which, well, I think that's unfair. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah.
You're free to have that
insanely
perspective, but
unfair.
I think that you should reconsider.
Wait, I should reconsider?
No, like to those people who don't find it
All right. Yeah.
emotionally, in any way, kind of. You got to feel something when Obi-Wan screams and runs after Maul. Like you got to feel something, right?
Oh,
Dude,
I mean,
the
maybe not-
fight
maybe
between
people don't.
Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Count Dooku instead of Revenge of the Sith, dude, when like Obi-Wan gets taken out of the fight and then Anakin ends up killing him at the end. Like there's a bunch of stuff going on in that fight scene. So
Master Kenobi, you disappoint me.
And he's just kind of like standing there. He's like, you're not going to do anything to me. It's like, okay, that feels kind of like Vader.
This felt just like a sequel.
That
feels like
first
Vader
part
because
only
he-
constituted a very minor part of that fight scene. There was a lot of other fight scenes where they actually exchange blows, which is crap. If it's just gauging, it's
Yeah.
good because he's force stopped.
Vader used force in a way that I guess makes sense against a far inferior opponent. I'm like, yeah, I suppose.
Do you remember when Vader got tricked because they got out of their little extra spaceship behind the other spaceship? What the f was that? such a bizarre moment. Like
bait and switch just to like temporarily change the stakes to make you go, ah! And then it's like, oh no, they're okay. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
To Revenge of the Sith, like the next film.
Well, that's kind of the problem with it.
It's weird.
It's sort of a sequel to Revenge of the Sith. It's sort of a prequel to A New Hope, which means no one can really do a whole lot.
You could have done a heck of a lot.
I mean, yeah, you could do a hell of a lot.
I find your
You just have to keep it very low key. Can't have a hell of a lot that.
But yeah,
depends on who you do it with.
Like,
You can have characters we have never met before.
It's like scaling, right?
Very important stuff.
If you're trying to explain this as like if there was a huge political strife and battle in a very, very minor part of Tatooine in relation to some Tuskens versus some, like cultural upheavals and blockade. If you consider that to be, well, no, that's a minor thing that no one cares about. You require like a planet exploding for it to be considered a big change or whatever. Like, okay, I guess you're right, but we can have huge, important, and amazing and interesting things happen that don't with the continuity of episode 3 or 4. Like that.
I mean, in episode 4, it's just like one line where they say that they've dissolved the Imperial Senate.
Which I mean, yeah, you got loads to play with.
That's a season's worth of content. The takeover of a Senate by an empire. I mean, that's like, who knows what that would entail? That's a whole can of worms that you can open up if you want to. Please don't touch it, though. You're gonna ruin it.
Chat said, "Why are you covering this again?" Paid. It's like, this is new.
I'm not covering it again. This is new. Not all white people look the same.
I feel bad to tell them that. Like, you chat, you're not ready for what they're going to be saying.
This is a new hell you haven't experienced yet.
I legit, when I was collecting these clips, I was in a call with Fringy. I had to play him some of the things they were saying because I couldn't believe it. I'd seen this video before this, and I was like, I don't remember. I blocked this out of my memory. I couldn't believe it was so bad, but we'll get there.
And I kind of like the little
surreal.
It is surreal, yeah.
Sort of a sequel to Revenge of the Sith. It's sort of a prequel to A New Hope. Which means no one can really do a whole lot. And I kind of like the little drama with Obi-Wan at the end of this, where it's like, oh, that final fight with Vader, like, because you know that they're both going to get away.
Right.
You know that they're both going to get away, which goes against everything that it was set up with, their own story. Kenobi's like
Obi-Wan literally says, if he dies or I do, it ends today. And then he just willingly allows Vader to live, and he leaves.
Which, when they imply the only reason he wouldn't kill him was if he thought Anakin was still in there, but he gets convinced he's not, and then spares him. Like, what? I'm very confused.
Really kind of ruined.
You don't see Mulder. It's because he's grown. He sees that killing him is not the way.
Oh, so why does he then, in A New Hope, desperately convince Luke to kill his dad? What's that about?
No, it's thematic. He's gotten over it. Now he sees him as Darth. He doesn't see him as Anakin anymore. Sees him as Darth.
Go kill him.
That was what he needed to get.
That's why
he sees him as Darth,
but he's the better man. He doesn't kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember how he left them burning alive?
I was about to say, it's kind of becoming a recurring pattern now of him just leaving him for dead rather than just killing him.
He didn't even leave him for dead in Kenobi. He just left.
Yeah, exactly.
It would have been funny if he chopped off all his limbs again, though.
I think it was a fair assumption from Obi-Wan that Anakin was going to die.
Darth Vader is laying there a little stump screaming Obi-Wan with no arms or legs.
I would just, dude, if the camera just is panning up, away, and all of his limbs are off, he's just like, again, seriously.
When I build that Death Star, oh man,
you're a twat, Obi-Wan.
So it's just sort of like, Darth Vader / Anakin is kind of absolving Obi-Wan of his guilt.
You didn't kill Anakin Skywalker.
It was so much better if this was facilitated by Qui-Gon, not...
Well, it's exactly what I just said, the thematic thing. They're like, hey, see, he's getting over his trauma. It's like, yeah, I know, but again, the story, they'd use this story rather than any other story they could have told.
And also, it's all backloaded.
Also, what Vader does here is not an act of compassion absolving Obi-Wan of his guilt. He's doing it to taunt him, to say, Anakin's dead and I killed him, suffer. So I feel they're misinterpreting the context.
I willingly became someone else.
And on that point, everything is telling us, from everything we've understood about Kenobi's intentions and his values, and same for the it's like, oh, so you're going to kill him now? You're definitely killing him now.
Yeah.
And he just walks off. You're like, what? No. Hello. What are you going?
I couldn't believe he did that. So many deaths are now on Obi-Wan's hands because he willingly let Darth Vader live.
I don't understand it. I don't know what they were thinking in the show, because they didn't provide us anything other than, I guess, what the interpretation of he's better than that ? But he's leaving him alive.
And again, you could have developed that, because at the end of Revenge of the Sith, he's like, you've got that entire exchange between him and Anakin where he's like, you were my brother, and it's like emotional, and by the time you get to Return of the Jedi, he's like, he's more machine now than man. So it's like there was clearly a gap. There was clearly some like evolution in his thought process. You just need to explore that, and you could have, but they just don't like. At the moment that it matters the most, he doesn't do anything. So
there's basically 2 conversations in this show where we really get to talk about in any way, like he learns to get over his grief, and they're very short and shallow.
Yeah.
It's a show that has for 6 episodes. There's 6, right?
Yes.
Yeah. 6.
Yes.
Yeah. There's for the 6 episodes. They're really not full of a lot. There's a lot of meandering and wandering around without really accomplishing much. These are not. I mean, like the go-to example I use is Chernobyl is 5 episodes, and it's just full of stuff and so many characters and conversations and events and causes and effects. But this Kenobi show is 6 episodes, and so little seems to be accomplished with it.
Well, yeah. It's because remember what he said earlier? He's like, nothing was happening in the first 4, and it's like it's not literally things are happening, but no substance is here. We get like Obi-Wan's really sad and he can't use the Force. We were all just baffled by that, but we kind of went along with it. And then it's like, what pulls him out of it? Tala telling him about how it's all right, you'll be right, right? Redemption, sacrifice. Don't be sad, just shit. And there's all these, like, everyone's review of Obi-Wan Kenobi involves the whole, like, where was Qui-Gon? Why didn't he show up on the ship? Why didn't he show up when he's covered in bricks? Why didn't he or rocks? Why didn't he show up earlier? It's like, why did you just throw at him to say literally hello? You literally just jangled him. And you didn't have to, because Liam Neeson's clearly there. He clearly could have delivered any lines you want. Who's the most meaningful
The
person
goal of the story.
to Kenobi? And you made his biggest inspiration Leia and Tala. Okay. Interesting. Very satisfying.
I did.
It's like, oh, it's a little character thing.
In what way?
I guess it is, Jay.
In what way is that a character thing? Just so we're on the same page.
The Obi-Wan show is about the character of Obi-Wan, finally, when you get to that final episode.
Yes.
And I liked that aspect of it, because it
See what I mean? Like, I'm not even going to say he's necessarily wrong about anything he just said, but it sounds like the praise, the bar of praise, is that it's doing something.
Exactly. You're grasping. It's like anything.
You know, it's about Obi-Wan, yes, but the actual what the show achieves in terms of his character progression is to abandon the most important mission that he came to Tatooine to have, and for the most stupid reason, saying he'll be fine on his own, when everything in this series establishes that Luke is really in danger for where he is, and he needs more protection now than ever, and Obi-Wan decides, he'll be fine, I can leave now. It's
Obi-Wan failed.
He has to go kill Darth Vader.
Yeah.
He betrays his mission and just... it's awful on so many levels. But that's what they achieve. They butcher and assassinate Obi-Wan's character. It's like, yeah, they achieve something, you're right. Nothing.
I mean, it would make sense that if he fails, because you got to set up the movie, but I mean, he like you're saying, he quits. He basically just
he doesn't fail. He wins and then walks away.
Yeah, that's
evil. He actually does fail. Luke ends up getting kidnapped and was at the mercy of this lady. And Obi-Wan does nothing to actually prevent that. She just decides not to kill him. He
gets off the
absolutely
hook by
failed.
complete happenstance.
Yeah, exactly.
This is horrible.
It is horrible.
By completely
Luke
separate
almost
character
died and
having a
Vader
little
definitely
character
lived.
moment.
But it is a character thing, I'd say.
Definitely.
it's small, but that's all you can really do.
Why would you?
What? What?
What is he even talking about?
It's small, but it's all you can really
get away.
do.
That's what she
Again,
said.
Literally
That's
get
what
away.
I
she
genuinely liked the final fight with Vader and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
It's the first thing on this show where I'm not just like, oh, that part was kind of okay. I was like, I actually like this.
Yeah, see, a lot of this is like, very much a normie reaction. Hey, it's a lightsaber scene that's mostly incompetent, but because it's better than the other lightsaber scenes in the series, it's great. And if that's their, standard.
So
I think it's because the emotional aspect of it, right? Like it's Vader and Anakin and Obi-Wan having that debate on who really killed him. I feel
They
like
don't
that's why
seem to be
everyone kind of
selling
likes it.
that way, though. That doesn't seem to be their reaction. They're like, we were so emotionally invested in the characters. This just sounds like they're like,
They like the
it
fight,
was, it was
yeah.
kind of cool.
Well,
All
I've
right.
missed half this
Fine.
video, so I don't
No,
really know.
just from
That's
that
just
clip
from
alone,
what
it
I've
sounded
heard.
like talking about how they
We're
were
only
fighting.
2 minutes in.
We're 2 minutes into an 18-minute video.
All right, 6 hours later,
Not just
we'll be
because
done.
they've built up Obi-Wan throughout the season, but also
It's more like tore him down.
Tore him down. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, incredible damage to him in almost every way.
Dude, when they were just like, he can't use the Force anymore, and he's also shit with his lightsaber to the point where he doesn't even use it.
Yeah.
But then suddenly
Also,
he does,
he's
and
dumb.
is really good with the. Remember, like it's episode 4, where they're just like, by the way, he can hold an ocean with the Force. You're like,
Yeah.
what?
He's also extremely incompetent on multiple levels.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
What
he's
about his
fucked.
jumping?
It sucks.
the way it's executed, how the whole thing is pretty much lit with just their lightsabers.
Yeah.
That's to save money on special effects.
Yeah.
That's all that is. If you look at that scene, you can tell that it's on a green screen with some very primitive 3D models and special effects, which is why it's so freaking dark so you can't see it. Because even when you take it into like Photoshop and you turn up the levels, you can see that it's like one of the most basic sets that they have.
Wow.
I think it's darks to highlight the brightness of the lightsabers and to really accent that glow because they love that lightsaber glow.
Yeah, am I the
it's-
only
I
one
think
who
it's
thinks
both.
they go
I-
like above and beyond with that? Like it's just so bloodied to hell bright, like the blue just in like
Yeah, it must
saturating
be
the entire
incredibly
character. I'm like,
distracting in an actual fight.
I saw him.
The thing is, though, I mean, they do make it darker to hide bad CGI, and this was filmed in the volume, that new kind of effect space that they have, and it gives it a very artificial look. Like, it doesn't feel like they're in an environment.
Dude, I
with
remember when
wind
that
and-
got introduced, everyone was like going nuts over it, but now everyone hates it pretty much, and it's got to be to do with the fact that it's just rushing. They relied on it way too hard. It's the exact same fate as CGI.
Yeah.
Just in
There,
general.
there are definitely a good uses for it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
brush it off just because it's there, but this is an example of them just opting for it, and as a result, it looks very artificial and fake.
Well, so I just want to say quickly, I've seen some behind-the-scenes stuff, and I remember seeing a shot where one of them uses the Force on the other, and they have a practical like thing where he gets with wires getting pulled back and hits like a set that is set to fall apart with rocks and stuff. Like, there's some stuff in this scene might be real, but to be honest with you, I'm sure it's gone through post-processing hell, where it's
The
just
floating
like,
boulders were real.
yeah, you know what I mean. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff in this shit that's entirely fake. Sometimes I wonder if they just film something physical happening just to be like, we did do physical, trust us, and then the rest is just mainly done in a PC. Because, like, I know that they're aware of that.
CGI isn't all CGI.
When they, like, release a picture of someone on a full green screen, like, Twitter just gets really angry with them, so they should probably just stop doing that. That's how bad movies are made, is what they say. But, it doesn't help things feel more weighted and stuff.
Yes and no. I mean, just watching it, it was a good fight. It highlights something that just annoys the out of me.
About the prequels?
Inconsistent way, like the Force is portrayed and what they can do and when they can do it.
That's always
And
been the case.
If they can do
No, it hasn't.
It
has not always been the case. It wasn't the case in that prequel trilogy that you hate for the most part. I think it's pretty decent in the prequels overall, except for the force speed.
Do you have a different take, Eyal? Is that what I just heard?
I do think there are plenty of opportunities, even in the prequels, where they could have just used the Force, and they just don't.
Wait. Sorry. I thought when we all agreed we were talking about the OT. Do you think it's inconsistent in the OT?
In the OT, I don't even think they didn't have the basic like rule set even decided around that. So I don't really care. I'm fine with it there.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty limited because in the OT, it's like, what, 3 people that use it for the most part that you see?
Yeah, that's true too. It's not that many people using it.
I'm willing to, because I think that the OT does a pretty good job, though I wouldn't be surprised if there were some maybe examples of some things where it's like, why didn't they use this there, sort of thing. But the prequels, there's plenty of examples of why didn't they use this there. I'm totally happy to see that. But the sequels went crazy, like they did. And
Oh,
Yeah.
And
I think those definitely stick it.
with
I
the
think the
with the
difference-
prequels, I mean, look, it is headcanon, but you can more easily explain it with some pretty reasonable headcanon as to the areas in which they might not use the Force where they could have. Yeah, but in the sequels, they just go stupid with it.
Someone in chat said, why are Mauler and gang so obsessed with RLM's faults? Like, if you feel a little bit insecure about it, I think they're great, and I'm still subscribed. I watch them all the time.
Yeah, they're great.
Did you ask why we're obsessed with the other people we covered today?
Well, I don't know why nobody said why are we obsessed with watching them and saying they're good. We do that all the time. I don't. Where was that?
So
Why are you so
I
obsessed
generally
with
think
Jim Sterling?
Is it the Nerd Crew thing that they do?
Yeah.
That is some
Oh
of
my
the
God.
best YouTube.
I love the
videos I think
Nerd Crew,
ever
yeah.
made. It's just top tier, like A grade satire for me. I love it.
Yeah, like it's I don't like when we cover Nostalgia Critic. Nobody says we're obsessed with him. What's the dealio, huh? Why are you leaving out poor Doug?
Do the kind of shit they do in that fight where they're just throwing mountains everywhere.
Yes.
And
Agreed, pal. That is
Completely
crazy.
agree. It was retarded.
And it's also annoying because I think we talked about this before, but just if it doesn't feel right to me that Obi-Wan is out force powering Vader, it's like,
And specifically because of the setup. Every single bit beforehand, they have basically just said Obi-Wan is weaker with the Force at the moment, and is only just vaguely getting back onto the horse. And in this episode, the only reason he has more power than Vader suddenly is because reasons, and he thinks about Leia and the good feels, and now he's stronger. Because
I just want to pause and point out that you just implied the existence of a Force horse.
fuck yeah.
There we go. That's
Also, Chad,
groundbreaking
I don't
revelation.
appreciate you saying, "Oh, he's struggling." He held an ocean up, man. All right, he's the best Jedi of all time.
That wasn't justified either.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
The very previous use of the Force, he barely struggled to pull a little thing.
Yeah, it was like a little bolt or something.
Pull a nut across the
Suddenly,
God.
oh, that was so lame. Just like I could barely use the Force. I could. Well, it's the opposite now. We're fine. We're doing fine. And then, yeah, they show us Vader pull a starship out of the sky, but he's struggling with the rocks. I just like, why? Why?
Like, to me, what's
It's
even
'cause
the
they don't know
starship
how
is
the
one
Force
thing.
works.
I actually think it would take greater energy and force, no pun intended, to rip apart the hull of that ship and just rip metal. Oh my goodness, that was just. I actually really
But it doesn't look a
appreciated
pretty insane level of power to be
Like,
able to
you're-
do that.
Your reaction, Rags, in your watch together of that episode when he does that, it was
The
hilarious. I couldn't
implications
stop
of being
laughing.
able to pull apart the hull of a spaceship
Yeah,
that's designed to
Yeah.
like traverse through space and it's nuts.
It was the same shit with
What have
the
you done?
Captain Marvel. When you show her smash through every level of a spaceship with ease, it's like, do you know how powerful you've made her? Do you have any idea?
Vader could literally rip people limb from limb, like rip their skeletons out of their
Effortlessly.
body effortlessly. Yeah, like
Effortlessly.
it's insane.
If you can
now.
rip apart a ship, if you can dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball. And if you could rip apart a spaceship, you can rip apart basically anything.
Anything, pretty much. Most commonly approached things in the world, he can fuck up. Yeah.
You can just walk past people and just rip their heads off, head just popping off with the slightest flick of his hand. Now, just done.
Darth Vader is just throwing Reva around with the Force. Why do they even bother with the lightsaber other than they have
That's a
to?
good question.
Because
Yeah, so we talked about this, like the unbroken rule. You don't, if you've got two Force users, you're just gonna, they cancel each other out on that one. You can't just have one of them pick
Yeah.
the other up and then fuck with them.
That's the headcanon I was referring to that you could explain with the
Yeah.
the prequels. And the only reason why, Dooku gets away with it, people say, is because he's vastly more trained in that specific art, and Obi-Wan let
I
his
don't even
guard
like
down.
that. No.
Me neither, really. But that's the headcanon people ascribe to it.
It's just that it makes you wonder about all of the fights that have ever happened. It's
It
just
does.
like,
It does.
surely not everybody is on the same level, and therefore...
Exactly. But then you have, Kylo Ren throwing Finn, whatever, or no, he first did it to Rey, and then he never does it again. And these are untrained people in the Force, and so they don't even have that excuse. Kylo Ren should have been just able to throw them into trees and knock them out, and not even break a sweat in that first fight scene.
The lightsaber is the only reason people like Star Wars in the first place.
Jesus Christ.
No.
That's reductive.
How could you say this, Rich Evans?
I mean,
is that why you liked it in the first place? Are you
lightsabers are cool, but they're not the only.
We need,
cool thing.
that's the
There's a
thing.
lot
We
of-
need all of the stuff surrounding it for them to be like this, the element of, because what a
Well,
light
by that logic, everyone would like the sequels.
Yeah. There are plenty of sci-fis with like light sword knockoffs. There's plenty of them.
Princess Warrior has lightsabers.
Like, I thought everybody was on board with the whole. It was the characters. Everyone loves the characters.
There's the characters and the story and the journey, and plus, there's barely any lightsabers in A New Hope.
Yeah,
This is true.
Because it was introduced in
gay
a
robots.
cheap sci-fi movie from the 70s.
Yeah, it is.
They're stuck with it.
What Wow, it's like a reductive contest.
Well, imagine
call it
the baseline for your lore and future stories is Star Wars, and you're like, ha, you're stuck with that. It's like, oh.
Every
guess.
once in a while, we have to show a lightsaber. Oh, okay. That doesn't really change anything, or it's not much of a restriction.
I didn't realize that like there was any IP that can't get this criticism. Imagine he's just like, Jurassic Park. That's a way more open IP. Just like, really? Like they're cursed to have the
More like
T-Rex in
clearly
every
the only
movie.
reason why, the only reason anyone liked it is because the dinosaurs. There's no
That's
other
true.
reason why. That
That's
movie
true.
was
That's very true.
There's no gay
drive-
robots in Jurassic Park.
Yeah, and
Not
they'd be
enough
making
gay
way more
robots.
billions if
None?
they were.
Yeah.
Of
And
course.
They should have put lightsabers in. That would have made it good.
Dinosaurs with lightsabers,
Hell yeah.
Yes.
and give them lasers
What about laser sabers?
mounted on
Oh,
their
yeah.
heads.
That'd be pretty cool, right? It's not light
As long-
anymore. It's made of laser. Very different.
As long as they're ill-tempered.
Ooh.
Yeah, it is.
They're stuck with it.
It drives me, and that's like on the level of like a weird Rich Evans pet peevish kind of thing.
Lucas himself broke his own rules. He's the one who did this, not the new era.
No,
because-
okay. Disney took it to the nth degree with the
That
powers
is
they
not the
added,
same.
the whole force healing and stopping lightsabers mid with the
A
force.
Sith
All that was
Lord
added.
doing that is way
I was
different.
about to say
than
the
Rey doing
Emperor.
that.
Exactly.
The Emperor moving those little platform things. Like I'm fine with that.
A Sith Lord moves something
That is
way lighter
completely
than
in line
boulders
with,
removed by
that's
Rey.
I don't
completely
know
in
why
line
they
with
show
the
Ray
X-Wing.
here throwing up a whole bunch of boulders. That's not him.
I'm pretty sure
They
the
tried-
Emperor's like the most powerful like force user around that time, right? Like he's like more powerful than he defeated Yoda. So
I
it's
mean,
like
allegedly, he's all the Sith.
that's also true.
I am all the Sith.
That was so epic
Moving
and cool.
things,
That
moving things
was-
with the Force isn't anything new.
Well, I mean, we've got Yoda
that
picking up
happened
the
in Empire.
X-wing, right? So you
Yeah.
can expand by into what can a Sith Lord do? It's like probably throw some shit that's of similar size. I don't know.
Also, he picked up that X-wing and it was not fast, and he had to fully concentrate
And this
to
is
it.
this is kind of my point. Like with when you have like a force system and then you establish this guy over here, he's one of the greatest of all time. It's like, so then he should be able to do things that are more so than what we've seen already. Like that's pretty much what you'd expect, right? And he does. Meanwhile, you go, Rey, brand new force user, has no clue what anything means or what's going on, and then she does something that's possibly more difficult than anything we've seen in terms of a single force use.
Like accidentally using force lightning.
And they do it while she's just yeah, I know, right? And this scene is done with her looking like she's bored. She's like, come on.
To be fair, she looks like she's bored throughout the entire
Hey,
trilogy, so that's not
Daisy
much.
Ridley is a fantastic actor. How dare you?
This is what happens when you hire someone who played a corpse.
I don't know.
They look bored all the time.
Well,
Look at all this
I mean-
misogyny on my
Throughout the
stream. I
entire
can't believe.
Movies.
And that is why you fail.
Next, you'll say she's a Mary Sue.
I would never.
Not me.
Because
Never.
Empire was so perfect. When Luke is laying, he's almost frozen to death. That's when he sees Obi-Wan.
All right.
Oh, Luke.
Yeah.
You will see Yoda and Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah, he is in Empire. Look at that.
Previously on Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
To the
there.
Dagobah
Yeah.
system.
You guys,
Let's keep going.
yeah, you guys are
Let's
gonna love where this goes. This point he makes is so bad. I have edited in a clip from the movies to remind him of something. Basically,
Really?
just to
I
make
can't
sure
wait.
you've got
Oh,
context
no.
here. This is under the conversation of Lucas ruined everything first, so don't blame the sequels. And
Oh,
one of his pieces of
God.
evidence is
Oh boy.
Force Ghost started out real good, and that's his example. So let's just listen to him. Let's see where he's going with this.
And so you have that. You have the Force Ghost, which is great because it's ambiguous on whether or not it's in Luke's head, he's delirious, or Obi-Wan's really talking to him.
It's done as tastefully as you can do the concept
Okay,
of a
let's hear
force
this.
ghost.
Yes.
It's
Now-
it's not ambiguous on Dagobah. That is definitely
It's
like,
interesting
he
you
was-
say that, Evan. It's almost as though they don't remember that scene exists.
Oh.
And-
Did
well,
you
what-
please wait? Did you
That's
edit
the
in the
thing,
clip
though.
from Empire Strikes Back, or did they do that? Because if they did,
No,
then
no,
they
no.
have no excuse.
No.
But even the scene that they're talking about,
Okay.
even the scene they're talking about, Obi-Wan gives Luke information that he did not have before. That means it can't have been a hallucination.
You
Yeah,
edited it,
unless
right?
you want to argue he did tell him between scenes randomly in A New Hope, and then
Oh my
Luke's only
God, is that what
remembering
they're
now.
gonna argue?
No, I don't think they argued that. But the point, what they've suggested here, I'm not. I've
He
been on
forgot
record
about
saying
it,
I'm not
yeah.
a huge fan of Force Ghosts, right? Because they cause a
Not
lot of
a huge
issues when you
fan.
think about them very
Yeah.
much for a long time.
You got to be
However,
very careful with them. Are ambiguous.
I'm very much a fan of what they were before Disney got their fingers on them. Because holy shit,
Certainly
Like,
now. Yeah.
you made them horrible. But they're positing that George ruined it well before the sequels did. So they'll just let it play.
Yes.
And Yoda lifting the X-wing out of the ground, the Luke Vader fight, a couple of like little tricks with the Force, but mostly still lightsabers. Great. Return of the Jedi. Force Ghost is now
Sitting on a log.
sitting on
Like
a log.
Kermit the Frog.
Extended
Everyone
casual
always-
conversation.
Yeah,
Oh my
extended.
God,
Everyone
he's
always-
an old
yes,
man.
extended
We can all
casual
understand it's being
conversations.
played by a human.
Well, if you,
and he was an old man.
For reference, Quentin Reviews
give him a
brought
break.
this up. He was like, the fact that he can sit on that log means they can absolutely use lightning. It's like, bro, the fact that they're walking should be evidence enough that they can sit on a
Yeah.
log. What are you talking about?
And they're not actually manipulating the log by sitting on it. As
No,
far as they
it's-
know, this is just a representative apparition of them
Exactly.
sitting.
This is how Obi-Wan chooses to represent himself to Luke. They're having to sit down. It's fine. You don't have to judge it further than that. You don't need to think. I remember, I think Quentin zoomed in to show that he moved like a straw.
It was a vine or something.
Yeah, he moved that when he...
Oh my God! Because an old man that was playing a fictional character in a movie
As a
didn't
ghost, is it-
perfectly not move sticks.
Yeah, it was just
like,
a little
give me
edit
a
thing,
break.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
a
that's what I mean,
human
it's-
thing. Like,
It's
this isn't going to be
absurd.
perfect.
But on top of that, like, they've literally forgotten. And it's a great scene in Empire where Obi-Wan and Yoda are trying to tell Luke not to go save his friends. It's too dangerous.
Absolutely.
I don't know how you forget that when you simultaneously claim Empire was like the
Well,
best one. Like,
You're
whoa.
right.
Well,
And he
I'm gonna
specifically
throw the clip
says,
in now.
I cannot interfere. So
I had to watch. Yeah, I had to watch
You
that
will be
yesterday.
tempted by the dark side of the Force.
Yes. To Obi-Wan, you listen.
Yoda literally is.
They're all having a
He's
sit-down.
to the Force Ghost guy. You listen. That guy over there.
Oh yeah, the ghost. Yeah, the ghost that exists, that real thing that isn't in your head. Yeah.
I don't
Right,
know why they
Listen to
forgot
your
this. It's so weird.
hallucinations.
That's hilarious.
And then prequels, lightsaber fights. Well, now it's not just like kind of like awkward stunt guys hitting lightsabers. Now we can do anything. Let's have the lightsaber
come on,
fights be crazy.
they improved the
why do you-
choreography in Empire
did.
Strikes Back and Revenge of the
They did,
Return
yeah.
of the Jedi.
And why did they say they've changed everything while showing like? Are they saying that the lightning from Palpatine is a bad choice now in Return of the Jedi?
Well, I was about to say that wasn't invented inside
Yeah,
of
because it
Attack
was.
of the Clones.
Yeah, Dooku wasn't the first one to do that. So unless you're saying that is a result of a bad change being Palpatine's lightning, but as far as I knew, Red Letter Media were on board with that.
Yeah. I think people more so have a problem with Dooku using it because it like undermines like it being like an incredibly powerful thing that Palpatine uses. But I think most people don't have a problem.
I was gonna say
don't
I
see
thought
any
most people were fine with it. I'm fine
Yeah.
with it.
Do anything.
Same.
Let's have the lightsaber fights be crazy. But that's still not enough. Let's throw shit around. Let's have Darth Sidious throwing
They did that in
those,
Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah,
on
Darth
the thing.
Vader.
Yeah.
Darth Vader in the middle of the.
They did it
like,
all in
running
every
around.
Jedi because they upped the ante when they would like introduce Force lightning.
And I'm sorry, I really find it hard not to appreciate that the Emperor is throwing the pods that belong to like his entire empire at Yoda. Like, allegorically, that's pretty fun. Like, it's all puppets to them in this whole room, right? It's like these two are fighting over the fate of the... And I know you're going to be like, it's the prequels, Mola, why are you digging in that deep? And it's like, that is what it is, okay? There's nothing that goes against that interpretation. I think it's kind of neat.
He's literally tearing the Senate apart in that fight.
He's throwing what represents each of the worlds of the universe at Yoda. Like, it's kind of neat, like I said. You don't have to dig too far. I think that's a relatively okay thing.
Pods, the politician pods.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like spinning him and throwing, and Yoda's like, he's spinning one around and he throws it back and it does nothing. And then they're
does nothing. I mean, hey.
He jumps to avoid it.
He jumps to avoid it, and Yoda nearly gets his lightsaber fight back. That's what he wanted.
Yep.
The throwing shit at him was annoying Yoda, obviously.
throwing rocks, and so that's Lucas, and he established that. And
in Empire, when Vader threw a bunch of shit at Luke, I don't know, feels weird.
I don't know what he was thinking, and that's another thing why the prequels.
It's cool. I mean,
It's far more logically justifiable the use of the Force in the prequels by what was set up in the original trilogy. And Obi-Wan specifically, has Vader ripping apart ships and crap. It's just, and what's worse, right? Chronologically, this is based before the original trilogy. It's showing Vader do insane crap with the Force.
Yeah.
And so it just raised the question, breaking continuity, why the hell isn't Vader using Force to that level throughout the original trilogy?
Exactly. Well, yeah, and the top tier example is the Hoth escape. He's got the ship right in front of him, and he lets it go. You fucked up that scene retroactively. Why'd you do that? Genuinely, if like you showed your kids these movies, I don't see why they wouldn't be like, wait, didn't he grab ships before? Why isn't he doing it now? Like, because he didn't do that
feel
before.
like
they changed it.
He had a little character thing, and now he doesn't want to do it anymore.
they gave him a character thing, full injection.
We have to have we have to top the last fight. The fight with Vader and Obi-Wan in this on that rock planet, when with the exception of Obi-Wan throwing all the rocks, it was neat. It was much better than Mustafar.
Okay,
better than Mustafar. Do you remember the theme of their coverage of episodes 1 through 4 was like they just kept saying this was better than the prequels. It was better than the prequels, though. You got to admit, it was better than the prequels. It's just like.
And also the statement where he says they have to always do something bigger and more spectacular, fancy with the Force. No, they actually haven't done that. This is one of the reasons why I liked Rogue One, is Vader's use of the Force is actually very restrained, but perfectly in line with the power levels that he was established in when he goes and attacks that, those guys on that ship. It worked really well. They didn't have to make Vader bust open the ship and pull, rip people limb from limb or anything. And so they're not always upping the ante because you don't need to. You can just use the Force as, within the power levels that's been established to really fun, interesting ways.
Since you've established that Jedi can just do that shit whenever they need to now, yes, I agree. It was neat. It was a neat fight.
But I thought when Han Solo picks up the lightsaber and turns it on to cut open the belly of the Tauntaun, he's like, and he's a little awkward with it, and he doesn't quite know what he's doing, and he looks like he's struggling.
Yes.
So I thought that if a regular person turned on a lightsaber and tried to pick it up, the sheer power behind it would cause it to be so heavy and
so
awkward and almost impossible to use.
So sort of like a sword in the stone.
So this has never been shared in a Star Wars thing, to my knowledge, but I've heard statements, and it might have been from George Lucas, that lightsabers themselves, the handles themselves, are supposed to be really heavy, and
that's so not true. They can't.
I know
they can't be because of A New Hope. It's impossible.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And so
to be fair, the
I've
argument
heard
you've
that
just
statement.
Yeah, I understand.
I know because it's contradicting.
If you watch the Clone Wars or if you read the books or the comics, it is a thing where if you don't have any kind of force ability, a lightsaber is going to be difficult to use. That's why General Grievous had to have well, he didn't have to, but he, made all those changes to himself and basically made him into a cyborg so that way he could use lightsabers the way that a Jedi could.
I want to tell everybody there's some neat ideas that might surround it. You can't. Luke casually picks one up before he even knows what the Force is, and he doesn't treat it as heavy.
Luke is force sensitive. He's Anakin Skywalker's son, so he already has that ability in him.
What is it?
Just because he's not trained doesn't mean he can't use it, naturally. Like there's people that are just naturally gifted at things.
But like,
Plus,
technically,
as a
anyone
utility,
can
it seems like it would be extremely useful.
Yeah, he's got the midichlorians.
Well, anyone could technically turn on a lightsaber, right? Like, it's not a problem that like just Han turns it on and
It's
uses
about
it.
using it.
Yeah.
It's like how easy is it for you to use as compared to a normal person.
The framing their point is weird because it's just like they're like he was awkward doing it. It's like he's doing something that's awkward. He's cutting open a tauntaun and just with a weapon he's never used before.
Like,
so he's just
you'd
like,
think
oh,
Luke
okay.
would be awkward doing that.
Well, so yeah, I was going to say their point's not going to work as well because they say you got to focus on it to use the Force to steady the lightsaber. It's like Luke's not doing that. Like, you ain't gonna. If you're going to interpret it as the swords will detect your genetics and allow you to carry it, like, man, I would never make that rule, but you go right ahead if you want to put that in.
Yeah, I don't see how it would be harder for someone who doesn't have force sensitivity to use it.
It has to do with the crystal. Yeah, I think there's an episode of the Clone Wars where they talk about it a little bit. Yoda does. And then it's mentioned in the Thrawn duology. And, oh my God, what's the other book? When Luke has his academy. And then I think they also talk about it in KOTOR.
Well, the sequels have contradicted it because Finn picks it up and uses
Sequels
it.
aren't real.
Hey, well, Finn's force sensitive, Shad. We found that out in.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, he had a feeling many times.
He had a feeling.
To expand upon.
He had a little character moment.
He had a little character thing.
That was a character thing. Yeah,
sorry.
Please, you have to get it right.
I think people are going to go nuts in chat unless we admit it. Yeah. So the reason Han does that in Empire is he's cold. That's why he's having trouble with it. It's a blizzard. you didn't need to interpret it as the lightsaber is difficult and heavy and like, but it's fine. It's fine.
Kind of situation.
Exactly. Where it's just like a beam of pure energy that is like it's out of like physics and
Only
it's
a true Jedi can.
Yes, and in order to use it like awesomely and effectively, you're also using the Force to move it around. So if a regular person had a lightsaber, they turn it on, it would like fall to the floor, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, I can't pick this up. I don't know how to pick this up. I don't know what to do with it." And that's just goes.
Why did they show the clip of Finn? I guess because they're saying Finn is force sensitive. I don't know.
What he's suggesting is almost like wielding Mjolnir in terms of like you literally cannot use it unless like you have the Force, which is just like that is sort of a thing, but it's not like you literally can't like even hold it.
Certainly something I don't like.
Well, and it's odd that they used that right after establishing Han used it. You know, like it didn't drop to the ground or anything.
There's nothing special about Jedis, really.
Now, wait a second. In the Return of the Jedi, well, okay, before I go, because in Return of the Jedi, when Luke is when he gives himself up at an Endor, his lightsaber is presented to him by his capturing officer.
Correct. Yeah. There's an officer that
he
holds
gives
the
it to
lightsaber.
him.
That officer must be force sensitive.
He must be.
Because
is Maz Kanata, is she force sensitive?
I was gonna say.
Yeah, Maz Kanata is as well. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, did he just say Jedi aren't special?
Goes with your theory that there's nothing special about Jedis, really, because
These
someone
guys
could
don't
just
know
take a
how lightsabers
lightsaber.
work.
What about R2?
What makes a Jedi
R2
special isn't that they can use a lightsaber.
Or the
That's not what
Force.
makes a Jedi special. And
They don't know
also,
what
like,
kyber
what's
crystals
wrong
are,
with
do they?
That's like saying what makes Cap special is his strength. It's like
is his shield?
Wait,
That's like saying
no.
what makes him special is his shield.
Yeah, any of the like obviously going to be the willingness to defend the innocent and all the shit like that. Like this.
Yeah,
makes,
Or maybe the ability to use the Force.
Well, I guess
the
he
Force, getting the
discounts
full
that
training.
for some reason. I don't know. I guess because you can have Force
Yeah.
users that aren't Jedi, and you can have Force users that are the Sith, and
Yeah.
but I don't know. What a strange thing to say.
I don't like it.
Like, I used to like Jedi because they were the only ones that had lightsabers. Well, of course you have Sith too. Well, of course you can have Han Solo doing it in Empire, but other than that, it's just like what?
Yeah, when
what?
Finn picks it up, that's you can't. do that.
Yeah. By the way, I would just help him out. Be like, don't worry, Finn's a secret Jedi. There you go. It's nice in your little headcanon. But I know you love the sequel.
Given, how do you say his name?
Kumail Nanjiani.
Kumail Nanjiani. He's a very funny guy.
Yeah.
I really liked his film, The Big
I
Sick.
did too.
Yeah.
I hate everything else I've seen.
Oh,
Silicon Valley.
Yeah, apparently he's good in that.
Oh, I haven't
love
seen it. Is that a TV show?
It's
or-
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on HBO. Well, it
And
was.
said, here, I thought he was going to do that. Here's your chance to be a Jedi.
But now I know what it feels like being a real Jedi. It's not
How the
easy.
fuck would
What a place
Obi-Wan
in
give
this
him his
show.
lightsaber?
So yeah, first reason. So if Obi-Wan was thinking maybe I should hand out lightsabers, I was like, dude, how dangerous! Like, all of you go nuts. Hopefully this works out.
You're gonna give your lightsaber to this guy.
No, he's talking
who's
about the
just
spare
scanning
lightsabers.
people. Oh, no. Ugh.
First thing is just like it's incredibly like complicated and dangerous to wield that thing, especially when we're working as a big team. Like, I can go very wrong. We all assume, I thought, that Jedi using lightsabers was kind of a different thing because they have extreme levels of focus and understanding and finesse, and they can access the Force to make them more accurate. Because, like, you know, lightsabers are they in certain environments they can be really shit as a weapon.
In a
they're
lot.
like it. This is my own other kind of thing, right? I always assumed they're safer for Jedi because they use the Force ability to prevent, accidental injury and stuff. Because I've trained with swords, guys, and guess what? I have hit myself with a blade accidentally, and sometimes you accidentally make contact with the blade with your hand and everything. I would be dead if they were lightsabers, and so yeah, like lightsabers have issues if they exist in the real world.
That would be really interesting as a payoff in a sense. Like Luke goes hot potato and throws it at him, and he holds it. And he goes, "Oh no!"
And then he pretends to chop it. He's like, "Oh, that sure is heavy."
Oh jeez, oh fuck!
It's so much heavier than it looks. Oh my goodness. I would
Man.
pick it up and give it to you if I could, but
What's this
I
guy's
can't.
story? Find out about Frank. See how he ended up there.
There's something about Frank, a Star Wars
Watch
story.
the Frank movie.
Hell yeah.
It'd
just
probably
called
be
Frank.
better than what we get now.
Oh shit! And then he
Buddy
starts
cop,
just chopping.
Frank and Frick.
I would watch it.
It's not easy.
What? Oh shit! And then he starts just chopping people up. Why not? Yeah.
Because
They
that would be
should-
terrible.
that's a-
Stupid.
Because that would be dumb as
Yeah, why would that's so incredibly reckless from Obi-Wan if he did that? Like, just go out there and slash away, buddy. You could do it.
But they're also saying the context that they think if he picked up a lightsaber and suddenly starts kicking butt with it, that would make sense and be fine. It's like, no,
Yeah, I
it
thought,
wouldn't.
you're right. I thought the whole point of this conversation was to point out that nobody should be able. I guess they're saying because Disney broke it, / Lucas broke it, and everyone can use them, so give it to everybody. I don't think everyone can use them as well as Jedi can, because Jedi are special.
Jedi have
But say-
telekinesis, which can only help you.
Pretty good, yeah.
A little rule that would have been neat in the Star Wars universe because it makes Jedi special.
I officially do not give a shit about the Star Wars canon. I just don't give a shit. I
can tell.
What a great
It's-
person
yeah.
to do a Star
Hang on.
Wars
You
video.
didn't pretend and say this like 5 years ago.
I just don't know
You
why
could
they
still
were reviewing
criticize
it.
it fairly. Yeah. That you
Like,
can
he
still
said
criticize
gave up
it.
on Star Wars when they were reviewing The Last Jedi. Like,
I can legitimately see how not giving a crap about Star Wars would make you hate Obi-Wan less.
But why
I
do you
can
want to
see
talk
that.
about it? Like if you've because they don't. I guess it's safe to say that they don't really care that much anymore, which is totally fine. But like,
I mean,
why make
seeing
a video
this
about
next to their Star Trek coverage, it's like night and day.
Oh yeah, the Star Trek coverage is glorious.
passion seems to be
You get
fine.
like, what was the total runtime for every episode of just season 2 of Picard? It comes to like, it's a ridiculous amount of hours, like in a
Yeah,
good way.
they covered They covered the Star Trek movies. They covered Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Picard, and they did all their TNG episodes. They did Star Trek, their own like fan film that they would want to do. They've made a lot of Star Wars related stuff, and it's clear that they're very passionate and they care about Star Trek. Yeah, Star Trek. And that passion and care is just not at all there for Star Wars, which is why Mike is making these stupid suggestions.
Well, that's kind of
here, have this lightsaber. Fuck it.
They're basically saying that Star Wars is crap, so let's just enjoy the crapness and do more crap because stuff it.
I think what's lame is that it's turned into, it's always been crap. It's never been that good or worthwhile, which is really lame.
It's really sad to hear, because like I would have thought investment in some form of the canon is the whole reason you watch it, because you want to see what happens next or in addition to. Isn't that the idea?
The Force Awakens.
Ew. Do you still think, potentially that Ryan did it all on purpose? He nuked the entire franchise because he wanted it to be free? People
I don't know if that was expressly his idea, but in practice, in function, it's basically what he did.
It was like a 1-2 punch with him and JJ.
Basically.
They did a lot of work in a shortish amount of time. Not bad, guys. Not bad.
Damn straight.
I can appreciate this series in and of itself and like bubble in a vacuum. It's like,
I can't even do that.
It relies on the other things being a thing. It's hard.
Is that too?
It's
Yeah.
nestled
How do you decouple it?
But even when you do decouple it, right, the plot is retarded. There's so much stupid things. The characters are inconsistent, and it's so stupid on so many levels. Poorly done. The fight scenes are awful. Oh my goodness.
They know what they're doing, Leia. Oh shit! I probably shouldn't have said your name, Leia.
There's like a stupid contest in the back of that truck.
Yeah, because you might think
was
like
trying to out-stupid each other.
Yeah, because the stormtroopers are just like, that's suspicious. Anyway,
we're looking for a Jedi. He kind of looks like that guy, and he's sort of wearing what that guy's wearing too. And he's with this little girl called Leia. Kind of like what her name is. If you see anyone matching those descriptions, let us know.
Dude,
Not only that, it's like a princess of Alderaan, the only princess of Alderaan. Don't you think people would be familiar with what she looks
they must
like?
have one of those little things. Like even if they didn't know what she looked like, they'd have those little bounty things where it'd be like, "This is what she looks like."
They told us to look for a Jedi.
Been 10
That's
years,
all they
so
said.
you would expect everyone to know what Obi-Wan Kenobi looks like as well, because he was one of the most famous Jedi.
And to be fair, that man has not aged that much. He looks great.
Nope.
You can spot him a mile away.
And they would just tell you, if they want you to look for someone, obviously the Empire is going to say, this is a picture of him. We have many of these pictures. You can use these pictures to identify him based on his face.
Gosh, you're bringing back so many memories of just this one episode of how insanely bad it was. Like, he doesn't know how to walk around a laser fence with big gaps on the side. Reva teleports in front of Leia just because magic. Vader decides to just let Obi-Wan go because he forgets that he has force powers and is able to not only put out fire, that he's in a suit that's basically immune to fire as well. There are so many levels of stupidity in just that episode alone.
You need to remember that in 1977, one of the stormtroopers bumped his head on a door by accident.
That was one of the
So really, Star Wars
stupidest
was always
things.
silly. Yeah, so really.
Obi-Wan's kind of a neat character in this.
Oh shit.
Appreciate this series in and of itself and like bubble in a vacuum. It's like, Obi-Wan's kind of a neat character in this, and I can enjoy it.
Shit! How do you think he's
Genuinely, he's such a sad sap in this, and
he's pathetic. It sucks to see how much they've damaged him. He's awful. He's legitimately a stupid loser.
Nah, but he says hello there at the end, so.
Ooh,
But can you really blame him at this point after all that's happened with Disney?
Yes.
I don't know.
We still have standards.
My spirits have been crushed. I don't know what to tell you.
Hope is like the sun.
Yeah. The big
And it's burned
star.
me too many times, but I
It
can't
goes
let
out
go.
in a couple billion years. That's what hope is.
Yeah. One day it will swallow the earth.
And that again, that is the hollowness of it that I desperately want filled. is you're done with the canon stuff. You're done with like, well,
Leia doesn't know who Obi-Wan Kenobi was in a new. I don't give a shit.
you're looking.
It's kind of a big deal.
Man.
This
All right,
makes
then.
the
Validate
events
the
of A New Hope
criticisms just
impossible.
because you don't care. It's like, I don't care if it's crap. It's like, it doesn't mean it's not crap.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, but this is your job.
It's so f***ing weird. What? All right,
So like, what,
then.
you don't care? Now what? No.
So
like,
when you
yeah,
when they highlight inconsistencies at all, then I'm like, so wait, do you care? What's happening?
No, they
By the way,
clearly don't care.
I've
Yeah,
chopped
they
out.
really don't.
I've chopped out a bunch of portions of this video, and several of the conversations in this video are stuff we agree on with them. They point out just inconsistencies. One of the ones they do is, you know, the girl who sacrificed herself with a grenade. They're like, didn't really make much sense that she didn't just throw it.
Yeah,
it's
Laura,
why do you
Laura,
care
Laura.
about an inconsistency? Why do you care? Shouldn't care about that.
I don't give
They
a
explain
shit.
that in this though, Rich. He tells her, "Pretend you don't know me."
Oh God.
You see how, on one end, they're having two making fun arguments of everything at the same time that contradict each other. I'll explain myself here. So, Rich is trying to comment on how it's annoying and I don't care. Why are we talking about whether or not Luke and Obi-Wan knew each other? But Jay has just heard him say that and now wants to make fun of how bad the dialogue was. Like, trying to account for it. After Rich has just said, don't care. Those, like, aren't going to be cooperating with each other very well, those two perspectives, right? It's almost like you're not listening. I don't give a shit, is what Rich's response should probably be, but you're not going to do that because we've got like a chemistry and a continuity you want to maintain here. They clearly do care. They know that the dialogue was really bad, like to account for it. They're doing the thing that other person did in that other video. Jim Sterling saying I don't care over and over again. It's like, you definitely do.
They didn't need to
It's
do
seamless.
that.
It's seamless, Rich.
And then in this, Obi-Wan's where's little baby Leia's been kidnapped. Her. She's the daughter of a monster.
No, he has a job to do. A daughter of a monster.
Oh, you have to appreciate this.
Oh,
what he just
Darth
said.
Vader. Oh, I thought he was talking about
not
Like,
his
genuinely,
father.
I just want to make sure everyone here understands what just happened. Mike saying Obi-Wan shouldn't give a shit about Leia because she's the daughter of a bad man.
Oh my god.
So is Luke.
Oh, so he's not criticizing Obi-Wan's first reaction that, you know, he's not trying to give an exaggerated example when his first told Leia is kidnapped and Obi-Wan's like, can't do it. And is he criticizing that Obi-Wan first said no? Or is he criticizing the blanket fact that Obi-Wan shouldn't go after
He's
her
saying
at
that
all?
Obi-Wan shouldn't care about Leia because Leia's father is an evil bastard.
I'm gonna
Meaning he shouldn't care about
To
Luke
be fair,
either.
doesn't Yoda at some point just say "Fair"? Don't
What?
go in. I mean, he basically says, "Leave her alone. We need to practice our force."
No.
practice
What he
here."
said, he tells Luke that there is another, right? Well, he
There's
says there's
another,
another,
which
and
we
then later
heard.
on, Obi-Wan says that there's another that Luke has a sister, and Luke says Leia, but Yoda's saying we have to keep her like hidden.
Well, I think
right?
what
you can't let
Yar
him.
was
that
saying
She's
because
clearly
at
not
first-
hidden, according.
Well, because
to
at
Luke.
first he was
knows
telling Luke
she's in
not to
danger.
go, but I
Oh,
think
wait,
it's because they knew.
Well, they were hidden before, and their parents knew, but she was always hidden until the
Well, no,
end.
what I was getting at was that Yoda knew that Vader wouldn't kill Leia because she's more valuable alive, so he wasn't worried about her getting killed on Bespin.
No, it's because he didn't because Vader didn't know that Leia existed.
I know that, but I'm saying as being Princess Leia, I don't think Yoda was worried that she would die as compared to somebody who's really a nobody to Vader, which would be Han Solo.
Sorry,
I can't follow.
If I can just reset for a second, you're right. I'm assuming the point being made was when he says there is another, he's saying even if Luke is to die or fall to the dark side, we've still got Leia.
We do have another, yeah, because Ben says he's our only hope, and then Yoda says no, there is another, and then the scene fades out. It's when
Yeah,
Luke
but
is
I was
going
going
to
off
Cloud
of
City that they
ER's
say that.
point, which was that Yoda basically said, no, F them, you need to stay here, finish your training. I don't think he was saying F Leia. I think he knew that Leia was going to
different than
survive.
revealing Leia.
I
Because
know,
Luke knew.
if he's going to leave her in the hands of Darth Vader.
Well, Darth Vader didn't know that she had that, that connection existed.
No, I think
Well, it doesn't matter. Vader wasn't going to kill her. She's too valuable alive as compared to dead.
but also leaving her with Darth Vader. I don't know. That's not a great plan.
Well,
I mean, as much as
And I mean,
keeping
that's
Luke's
even
trained.
then,
Toss
you
him,
would
by the
still
way.
yeah, you got to remember,
still want Luke to finish his training.
Yoda's POV is that he thinks it's more likely Luke will fail if he goes there, and thus that doesn't make the situation better, does it?
Yeah.
Suppose.
Like, hey man, you know, if I was sitting there with them lot talking about it, I might even be like, Luke, maybe it is worth training a bit more, buddy. I don't know, man. I don't know. Go there. It's Vader. He's pretty. Got a big old cape.
Yoda says you gotta be if you're not a Jedi Knight, you know, we're gonna lose you. We can lose you to the dark side. You'll be a force of evil.
Seamless, Rich.
And then in this, Obi-Wan's where's little baby Leia's been kidnapped. Her. She's the daughter of a monster. I mean, why would he care?
Crazy.
I need you guys to hear that. Why would he care?
Why care? Why would he care?
A monster.
Because of somebody who isn't her.
I mean, why would he care?
I like Anakin as brother.
I just
You were
don't.
my brother, Anakin. It's
Have you
like,
guys ever heard a take like this from someone who loves like
This is
Star Wars?
insane.
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
Why would Obi-Wan
I don't
care
think they
about Luke or
actually
Leia's
like
lives
Star Wars.
when their dad was evil? It's like they had a mum too, man.
Why would Obi-Wan
she was
want
really
to
nice.
protect the future of the Jedi?
Yeah.
I mean, you were there at the delivery. You were there.
Yeah. By the way, people are pointing out, but like it feels so obvious that it like what it's like. Yeah, them having a bad dad doesn't mean they are bad. Why would? What are you doing?
Exactly.
Why would you do? What are you?
Well, why would he
I don't
even
know,
be
man.
on Tatooine if he had that feeling? Because he knows that Luke is Leia's twin. So
Yeah,
if it's her dad's evil, why would he even be wasting his time on that hell of a planet?
To be fair, he's about to follow up. Just give him a little listen.
I mean, like, why would he care? And why does he care so much about Luke? Why?
Why does
Mike?
Like,
Oh my
just in
God,
case
'cause maybe
anyone
he's
thought.
the only thing that can go
ca-
against Vader. I
Yeah,
don't
in
know.
case anyone thought anything different, he is literally asking why in the world does Obi-Wan Kenobi care about Leia or Luke? I never, ever thought a Star Wars fan would ask this question.
wow. Well, I mean, this is
I don't
back
think
in
these
Revenge
guys
of the
are actually
Sith.
Star
That was
Wars
established.
fans.
Well, yeah. So if people needed to actually know the answer, so he's charged with
You don't
it
need to
as like
see
a
Revenge of the
duty.
Sith to get the answer.
These are innocent children. He feels vaguely responsible, or even directly responsible, as a result of all this happening in relation to Anakin. And then they're going to be the future of the Jedi and the hope for the galaxy. Do I need
Well,
more
yeah,
reasons than this? Like, I don't know.
You better feel doubly responsible in the OT now that it's been contextualized that he let Darth Vader go again.
Again, yeah.
So now when Luke wants to go to Cloud City and fight Vader, Ben's going, oh, it's kind of my fault.
But like, it's not just that Mike says this. Rich and Jay don't suggest otherwise. They seem to agree,
this
I
is
guess.
nuts.
I guess they agree. I don't know if they do, but like, does anyone here remember Star Wars? Like, what's going on?
I don't give a shit.
Because that's what he's been put on that planet to do until he dies.
He's the son of his best.
Good point, Jay.
Yeah, good point, Jay.
Yeah, so why did he go leave Leia? Let's operating strictly on that logic. Why did he go to Leia?
Oh man,
Because they needed a show.
that's what I mean. It feels like there's a tangential point that we would agree with, which is he never should have abandoned, I should say, Luke for Leia. That's Bale's charge, and Bale's in a much better position to help. Like, that's a valid question to ask, but why does he care at all about either of them? It's like, oh, jeez.
Best friend.
It makes sense if they're actually special, and they're the only ones who can save the galaxy from Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine. But they're not.
But they don't know that yet.
I know.
Anakin should.
Maybe
Also,
They kinda
even if
are.
they were
Exactly
the
what
ones that,
happened.
They believe they are, though. It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be true. They just have to believe it to be true.
but even if they're not, they're also innocent children that deserve.
Well, yeah,
to be
there's loads of
protected.
reasons. I don't
Like,
understand.
it's a
if you're-
real
Oh my
basic
God.
one.
If you're Obi-Wan, wouldn't you feel kind of guilty for the situation those kids are in?
Yeah,
Especially with
just a little
Kenobi,
bit.
yes.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I laid out like 4 significant reasons for this. I feel like there's no way you're successfully arguing that Obi-Wan shouldn't give a shit. Ain't happening.
What else would he
maybe
do?
For all these years.
Yeah,
Where else would he go?
let him protect the innocent children. All right, I think it's fine.
Obi-Wan, I would kill Luke. I'd be like, you're.
So now we're at the point where Obi-Wan would kill
Oh my
Luke.
God.
Because your dad was evil?
So
your dad was evil, so
remember how I said
Mike.
this video goes off the deep end? I legit was like, wait, what?
Just stop talking about Star
To be
Wars.
fair,
You're senile. Grow up.
So I don't watch these guys very often. Is he just trying to be funny?
I don't know anymore. Like people claim their spirits and brains were broken by Picard season 2. That's the arc we're on. They don't know how to say or do anything anymore.
Surely watching a season of bad TV doesn't surely that doesn't seep into
It
everything
doesn't
else
say,
to the
like,
point where
kill
you're
a little
advocating for
kid.
child murder.
I can't believe they said that.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. Let me play it again. Just let's be fair. Let's get that full quote.
But they're not.
But they don't know that yet.
I know.
Anakin should. If
What do you mean they don't know that yet? They believe it to be true, and that is enough of a reason.
That sounded like a defense almost there. So from them, I mean, like they drop in that point immediately. We're moving on to Kenobi killing the children, right? Come on, keep up.
Oh, right, okay. You're right. Let me catch up. I'm living in the past.
If I were Obi-Wan, I would kill Luke. I'd be like, your father is the worst piece of shit ever.
Your father is the worst piece of shit ever.
And then Luke would look at Owen, and he's like, "Well, he's not that bad."
Oh my God.
Children deserve to pay for the sins of their father. I read
Real,
that
some
in the
Old
chat.
Testament
And by the
shit
way,
right here. God damn.
I swear to God, like I said, huge fan of Red Letter Media. Same, I imagine, for several people in this call right now, possibly. I don't know. I'm not just the community that everyone listening to this. They're just gonna ignore that. They're just gonna be like, "You didn't say that. That's fine. Moving on." Because how do you square that away at all? Like, you know what Obi-Wan should have done?
What bothers
Execute
me
Luke.
if you claim that they're Star Trek fans. So there's a whole thing with the Klingons where Worf is basically responsible for his father, and so it's like by this whole scenario that he's putting forth, it's like, how can you call yourself a Star Trek fan when you're literally calling for something that Worf literally fought for in Star Trek? This blows my mind.
Like I said, I couldn't believe this was being said by him. Well, if you remember, because when we covered the first 4 episodes, I think I said okay, probably not going to do the next 2. It's probably similar stuff, whatever. But a lot of people, when it came out, were like, "Please cover it. It's worse than part 1." It's like, it is. This is worse than part 1. They just argued Obi-Wan Kenobi should have executed Luke. Got to admit, that's even further along than what Rian Johnson would advocate for, I think.
And he's awful, and you're probably going to turn into him.
You're
probably
I guess we're retroactively approving of Luke and TLJ.
I don't know what the f is happening.
Sorry.
Is this his sense of humor? Is he being sarcastic?
No.
He's gotta be. He's gotta be. There's no way he actually is advocating for Obi-Wan killing a kid.
The moment Luke starts having some bad dreams.
There's plenty of Star Trek episodes where they fight this exact thing that he's making a declaration on as his point in this video. So
Funny though, should the child of the worst tyrant known in the universe, how would they be judged, or how would they be perceived by the people of the world that was tormented by that evil guy? It's literally a plot point in my book. So anyway, I can relate to the concept.
A certain historical figure who is a tyrant that is very infamous, their children are have written books about this type of a thing. This is actually a thing in real life that happens.
The question is, Obi-Wan would never do that, and most reasonable, not even unreasonable people wouldn't do it. They could judge people with bias and resent and distrust and stuff. If it's a child of a terrible person, I could see people being bigoted in that way. But just flat out killing him is that's next.
Well, then he would be a Sith, and he would be just as bad as Vader.
I'll roll it back, and if we can let it play for a decent chunk, just try and gather a vibe of, is he joking?
It makes sense if they're actually special, and they're the only ones who can save the galaxy from Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine. But they're not.
But they don't know that yet.
I know.
Anakin should. If I were Obi-Wan, I would kill Luke. I'd be like, your father is the worst piece of shit ever, and he's awful, and you're probably going to turn into him.
See, this is why people hate the last.
Did Mike seem like he was joking?
seem like it.
Don't know. Maybe he's drunk.
Because Jay's having the normal person reaction to it. It's
Yeah.
like, what
He's
the
like,
f
"What
are you
you say?"
suggesting?
What the?
Jay is the voice of reason in a Star Wars discussion.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. I think it's at least a partial joke.
I'm shocked that you guys know all of them by name.
Oh, these guys are great.
We love them.
It's
Any video I try to watch them, I have to turn it off. I can't stand them.
Oh my.
Or even
Like,
best of
look
the
at
worst.
look at his current
Like such
expression.
charisma.
He's like, like,
He's pleading. He's like, do you? It's like, is there someone behind you with a gun? Like, do you need help?
I'm
Blink
curious.
SOS.
There's still,
like, what?
There is still a nuclear take coming up, and I'm curious if chat will think that's a joke as well. Because I'm starting to wonder: is it just the bad takes of jokes? Is that what we'll do? We'll just survive this.
Well, the delivery is so flat that I have no idea. Like they seem just so like uninspired and just apathetic that I'm just like, if they're telling jokes, I'm none the wiser.
That's
Jedi,
generally their delivery.
Because Luke almost kills Kylo Ren.
What? Oh.
Remember? He has that
Oh shit! I forgot about this part. Hang on. Let me.
Oh no!
I gotta roll this back. Yeah, you guys, chat, brace yourselves. You had this before. You had it last time. He's about to say the similar thing.
And he's awful, and you're probably going to turn into him.
See, this is why people hate The Last Jedi, though, because Luke almost kills Kylo Ren.
What? Oh.
Remember?
What?
He has that brief moment where he thinks about killing Kylo Ren. And everybody hates that movie because of that.
Oh, sure, yes, because he senses badness in Kylo Ren, right?
Yeah, so he has a brief moment where he thinks about killing him.
He's like,
but
oh,
he doesn't
shit,
kill him.
I'm
But just the
Kylo
fact that he
Ren.
thought about it is enough.
No, he didn't. No, he attempted to do it.
Well, so if we're supposed to believe one of the 3 flashbacks is probably the final one, and in the final one he ignites the lightsaber. He doesn't swing.
It doesn't do it. Yeah.
So he definitely you can. The problem everyone takes with this is the full consideration of executing Kylo. That's just completely out of the realm of Luke's
It's like
characterization.
the one step short of actually doing it is going there, bringing your lightsaber, igniting the lightsaber. This is like it's like going to someone's bedside, taking a gun, loading the gun, putting a round in the chamber, pointing it at someone's face.
Yeah, and I want to.
Well, you don't know that.
Try
Like, he
and-
could have just dropped something and needed the light.
True.
I mean, come on.
Some people say
Give the
like
guy a
it's
break.
totally fine that he considered it, and it's hard to translate. But it's just like you wake up and you're kind of hungry. You go downstairs, and let's say your mom or dad is just sort of standing there and they're making a cereal, and you see the cereal box, and you're like, could I have cereal? I could eat my mom.
What?
Cereal.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. It's the wait. How do you guys? It's cannibalism I'm talking about. You better not be.
Yeah,
thinking about
it's
anything
like a random, totally evil thing that just pops into
It's
your
the
head. for no
idea
reason,
is
and a fleeting
like
sort of-
somebody
and you're like, that's
suggesting, that's perfectly in character for Bowler to consider it. He didn't do it. It's like, no, it's not. Why the f would I consider that? Like, what? No.
How tasty mom be looking.
Cannibalism is so
lovely,
bad.
delicious bowl of mummos to start the day.
Nice.
Moment where he thinks about killing him, but he doesn't kill him. But just the fact that he thought about it is enough to send.
He doesn't even.
He did more than think about it.
I'm gonna keep
He's like, I just-
pausing him before he says it. If you guys gotta let him finish the sentence, okay? You're gonna love it.
Sure, yes, because he senses badness in Kylo Ren, right?
Yeah, so he has a brief moment where he thinks about
totally
killing him,
recalling.
but he doesn't kill him. But just the fact that he thought about it is enough to send a bunch of man babies into a fit.
Oh, the man babies. Man babies.
Hate that.
Oh, Jay loves
Why
that.
would he
Woman.
say that?
Because you can just dismiss the things that people have to say in their criticisms if you call them a man baby.
if
It's a
they're
really
I think it's better when Jim
To be
Sterling
fair,
uses a funny
they're-
voice.
What they're doing, doesn't that qualify them as man babies?
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Oh, yeah,
dude,
sure.
they're practically cited as the origin of Star Wars man babiness because of the prequel videos. So,
Right.
don't know why they would use that cudgel. It's a bit odd. But hey, chat, is it a joke? I don't think so.
If you cared about Star Wars canon,
I really enjoy them, but I don't take like their analysis 100% seriously. I guess is a good way to put it.
You take the good stuff seriously, is what you're saying.
The entertainment, yeah.
I just
Isn't that just saying that you watch them
I take their
critically?
entertainment seriously, indeed.
When they have a character
What
thing,
is
that's when you're interested.
entertainment?
Yeah.
Or not.
The fact that he
starting.
thought about it is enough to send a bunch of man babies into a fit.
I was fine with that.
That
I
awkward
was
laugh
fine with
too.
that.
Where
You
he's
didn't
just
want
like,
the man
"Ah."
baby charge.
Ha 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 ha.
If you cared about Star Wars canon, it would be impossible to enjoy Star Wars.
What?
So is
Look
that
at
my
that.
fault or is it the
Yeah,
writer's
don't
fault? Why is that
disagree.
my fault?
I mean,
Like,
well,
I'm
'cause-
sorry, I
because-
care
well,
about
I was
the
about to
canon
say,
of stories I used to enjoy.
I guess
That's
I
not
agree with
my
him, but like,
fault.
doesn't this apply to, all of the franchises that
You
are
know
getting
that-
fucked?
Yeah.
Like, you literally can't control what you care about, right? That's literally something you cannot control. It's a result of things, right? You can't just let me just literally stop caring. It's like, no, you realize you stopped caring because of something. Like, I can't just hit the switch and I care about Star Wars again, and then the next day hit the switch again and I no longer care about it.
Yeah, you stopped caring because Disney stopped caring.
Yeah,
exactly.
I stopped caring as a result of what was done with the franchise. I care.
know
Well, I
it's
care about
been-
the original trilogy.
Yeah.
I care about
Been
the
a while
prequels.
since
That
all
shit's
of this
still good.
degradation started, but like it's so crazy still that so many writers care about their properties like it's insignificantly compared to the fans. It's like how can you write without caring about that? I don't get it.
Disney have made a whole production line for everything.
I know.
They
I don't
figured it out,
understand.
man.
They care
They've built
about
an
money.
evil empire out of doing it.
Yeah.
give
Well,
it
you
to
know,
everybody,
even by
man.
this point that he's making, it's like, well, what about movies that take place in the real world where they just have to do like the special effects so that way it makes a cool shot and it doesn't work within the canon of reality, but we don't care because we're watching it and it's a cool movie. You know, it's like, what? I don't even think that they care about what they're saying or if they even realize the ramifications of what they're saying.
Which, a lot of people are saying that's why they're saying this bizarre shit. Because they don't
Yeah,
know what
they're
else
literally
to say.
just making content, I think, and they like Obi-Wan's the hot new Star Wars show. We just need to talk about it.
Yeah, definitely.
When you watch,
They're really just tired.
you just have to forget that the prequels exist. When you watch this, you have to forget everything else existed. It's the only way you can enjoy this shit.
I really like the moment when Tala used.
No!
No, it's
Oh, what?
Get it. What are those fucking spikes on her hands for? What?
It's
I don't care
cool.
about that.
Why?
in
I
itself
do. Why are they on there? What is the
It's
purpose? Why are they?
cool.
Why do you have little butt plugs on your
It's
hands?
spooky.
Are you gonna like backhand someone like
maybe.
a
Brass
stormtrooper?
knuckles,
and-
maybe?
Well,
Maybe you.
Yes, I don't know about that, but
It's you'd have to
it's
like slap someone with the
intimidating,
back
Rags.
of your hand.
It'll let other bounty hunters know you don't f with this one. They got
Yeah.
hand spikes.
She's got spikes on the back of her hand. I didn't even
What?
notice before. I should have. Maybe I was just I was overcome with grief when I was watching this episode. It's like watching the death of a friend over and over and over again on a holocron.
Isn't that
Wait, yeah,
from Return of the Jedi?
Rags, that's not from Kenobi. That's Return of the Jedi.
I still have a problem with it.
No, I know, but
I think
he's just making sure you know what it's from.
I don't even care. I just like I see spikes on the back of someone's hand and I have questions.
It's the only way you can enjoy this shit.
I really like the moment when Tala used the Boba Fett thermal nuclear detonator.
That wasn't both. Okay,
it's not
Boba Fett.
That was well. It looks like Boba Fett.
I do like, but like, isn't that
Yeah.
indicative? I don't even blame him.
That's Luke, right?
It's like dragging out some dude
No,
to talk
that's
about
Leia.
this as if he cares about it, but he doesn't. Like, it's clear at this point. I don't know. Remember when
Imagine,
Boba
like,
Fett?
Boba Fett had the thing.
He just lives there in like the shed or something, and they poke him and wake him up from his alcohol-fueled slumber so that he can talk about some Star Wars movie.
Oh,
again.
someone asked, "Is the man baby thing the nuclear take?" No, we haven't gotten there yet.
Oh no.
To blow
Oh, we
herself
haven't
up.
gotten there yet.
Her
Damn.
and the loader. I really liked. I felt a more emotion for the loader exploding than Charlie. Yeah, but
The loader only cared because it was programmed to.
but
He
she
did
could
care
have.
though. That's all that matters.
Well, and that's in a sense you could feel even more tragedy for that this creature was programmed into becoming a meat shield in a sense. Like, it couldn't escape that fate. 'Cause
Yeah.
the droids have some level of sentience in Star Wars. It's a bit disturbing if you think of it that way. But if you think of it the normal way, that he's a friend of hers and he chose to take the... You know, everyone likes the Loda more than any character in Kenobi. Just because he's a droid trying to help, that's it.
Thrown that grenade.
She was injured though, wasn't she?
She was, but like...
She was injured. Why? So she could be
What
throwing the
about
grenade. You
before
serious?
she was injured? What
We don't
about
care.
before
If you're
she was
shot in the
her
belly, you
arms
can
worked
move your
fine.
arms still. Like,
Throw
Could've
the grenade.
rolled it a
yeah.
little bit. You could have
Jesus
tried. You
fuck.
could have tried. That's just you could. This
By the
whole
way-
show, you could have tried.
I wouldn't be surprised if they would even categorize this like, this is such a nitpick. Meanwhile, we're like, this is such a blatant fuck up. Like, because anybody would throw the grenade.
Reva and all the stormtroopers were like coming down the hallway, and
That's so many experience points clustered
Oh,
together
yes.
right
Yeah.
there. Oh man, you'll level up with that one grenade. You'll get
You know
so many
the kill feed?
combo
It would
points.
just be this huge mess of
It would be
names.
nuts. Yeah.
I would have thrown it. You know. But
That's not as emotional, Mike.
it was like that was a cheap emotional moment. It would have had more impact had Obi-Wan smooched on her.
It would have, yes.
I mean, it would have had a more emotional
because he's a
impact
Jedi.
if she wasn't
But
stupid
come on,
and we cared
that-
about her.
Whoa. What were you saying?
I was like, it would have had more emotional impact if it wasn't stupid and we cared about her.
Well, it is weird, right? To be like, oh man, I really liked that part, but it was cheap. Like, oh.
Oh, so you recognize that, like you've been,
Yeah.
okay,
I mean, you know, if he's saying like, I enjoyed it, but it's poorly made, it's like, all right.
all
fair
right,
enough.
sure.
Moment.
right.
It would have had more impact had Obi-Wan smooched on her.
It would have, yes.
He can't do that because he's a Jedi.
But come on, they bend the rules with everything else.
It's because in Jedi, Luke gets the cult personality. He becomes a Jedi, and he
Oh shit, here we are.
Oh, wow.
Is this
Sorry,
it?
folks.
This is the
get
nuclear
ready.
take?
Here we are.
Oh, can't wait.
Uh-oh.
I don't know that you guys are ready for... Oh, jeez, okay.
My body is
With everything
ready.
else.
It's because in Jedi, Luke gets the cult personality. He becomes a Jedi, and he instantly becomes boring.
Yeah.
Does
He goes from the farm boy looking for adventure to, yes, Father, I sense the good in you. I have drained all emotion from my personality.
He's
You've
speaking
gotta be
solemnly
kidding
to his
me.
father. I
So
watched
this-
the scene just like the other day for
Yeah,
a video.
this-
It was like yesterday. Or
Oh,
the day
yeah.
before. Like
Cat,
I-
what are we thinking? Joke or real?
like he tries to emotionally appeal to a fatherhood
He's
that I don't know about.
misremembering.
Well, so I've
Hasn't
actually...
rewatched the movie in too long, maybe.
I've
Just
actually thrown the clip in there for you guys, so let's have a little look-see.
I'm creepy now. No, Emperor, I won't.
Oh, yes, sorry.
He's not talking to the
dude,
emperor.
Mark Hamill is so on point in
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then when he turns on the lightsaber, and you just like get that reaction where he's clearly on edge, but like trying to keep his cool. Like, he's so good.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, and,
my
you know-
interpretation of him in the movie is that he is trying to come across as more than he is yet like become necessarily. He wants to project himself as a very confident, in control
he's
Jedi
being
master.
calm.
He's trying
to-
everything he can. The whole movie is about testing his mettle. Will he?
He's so emotionless, even though he snaps at Vader and screams no when Vader's taunting him about Leia. It's totally emotionless.
So
Well,
not
that's
only
what
is
makes the
Obi-Wan
third
Kenobi
act-
boring, but so is Luke Skywalker and
Well,
Jedi. Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
so this is why this is one of the most baffling Star Wars takes ever, because most people pick the scenes relating to Vader and Luke as their favorite in all of Star Wars in Return of the Jedi. And it's because of the emotion. So it's just like, what is happening?
Be now.
No, they're saying he became boring. I remember as a kid, Jedi was easily my favorites because Luke became a badass. He
Absolutely,
becomes
yeah.
this absolute
It was very
but
exciting
Jedi.
of a movie,
It's
yeah.
like for a kid, and it's hard for me to judge objectively now because I've got all that nostalgia mixed in with it. But Luke became so cool in Jedi compared to the other ones. It was easily my favorite.
No, Emperor, I will never join you. I am a Jedi, like my father.
You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
I am a Jedi, like my father.
Oh my god.
So
that's one for one. Such a convincing.
He knows the quote. He's just like, this. This has to be put on. This has to be a voice.
Nah,
that he's doing.
I think it's serious.
And I would go as far as saying Mark Hamill's performance for delivering this is pretty damn great. I get a full sense that he's like he's emboldened by his full-on belief that I'm gonna stay strong to this, but he's still stressed out as fuck. And you get those little breaths, and he's like, and the music reflecting like, so what happens next? And then obviously we cut to the Emperor, and he's like, so be it, which is like, oh shit, what's gonna happen now?
It's like the best part of the movie.
I am a Jedi.
How can he know the quote so intimately, but just fail in the delivery? Like this has to be like put up. There's just like, I don't know how he could accidentally do this. Just accidentally remember it being emotionless because it's
and people do that all the time on EFAP.
Yeah,
People just flat out do not remember the material that they're referencing.
Well,
like there's the guy I'm covering right now, just as an example, the guy I'm covering right now for a response literally says that it's f***ing insane that I think Obi-Wan wants Luke to kill Vader. People just flat out do not remember the shit that they talk about.
It's odd, but I mean it's pretty hard when you literally put his impression of Luke next to Luke delivering it. You're just like, okay, so even if you were going to be critical of his acting in this scene, it ain't that, right?
It's great.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
I am a Jedi, like my father. I have been programmed into the Jedi cult now.
He becomes a creepy priest man.
Yeah, he does. That's Luke's arc. He becomes a crazy priest man.
Even though he disobeys so many of the rules like frequently throughout that entire movie. It's just
one of the reasons that Obi-Wan didn't tell Luke that Vader was his father was because he thinks that would make Luke hesitate in killing Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Luke goes to meet Vader, he tries to appeal to that relationship in order to save Vader and not kill him.
So out of all the lines,
you just have to watch the movie again. You clearly don't remember it.
So he's complaining about Luke's delivery in Return of the Jedi, like that scene, but not when Luke's in front of Jabba. Like, if you're going to complain about his delivery, I'd complain about those ones, not where he's like literally panting from fighting and refusing to kill his father. Like, what the
This is what I mean. It's one of the most iconic lines. Like, it's one of the things that everyone loves about it. Like, people don't typically remember it as being really robotic from my memory, but okay.
I mean, the dude just got finished fighting. Like, what do you want?
There's nothing to see. I used to live here, you know. You're gonna die here, you know. Convenient. Just stick close to Chewie and Lando. I'm taking care of everything.
What is it?
Ask me again sometime.
By the way, this is the first time that he sees Leia after learning that Leia is his sister.
Yeah,
so he just tells her, ask me about it another time.
I quite love that delivery. It's such a...
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, ask me about it another time.
No, he's a creepy priest man, apparently.
Mahler, did you put these in, or is it them that put these in?
They definitely didn't put these in because they don't help their point very much.
Yeah. They're going to be completely different.
Power too. In time, you'll learn to use it as I have.
Look at that.
Dude, before when he says I don't remember my mother, it's like
I was gonna put a lot more, but I was like, I'm gonna just play the movie. Why not?
That was why you couldn't destroy me. That's why you won't bring me to your Emperor now.
So what happens to the Star Wars now?
Don't give a shit. Star Wars to me at this point, I'm like Tim Robinson in that sketch where he's like, I don't want to be around.
Then why are you talking about?
I don't want to be
then
around.
give up, man. Just don't. Just watch
talk
other
about
things.
Star Trek.
They don't want to talk about Star Trek either. They don't want to talk about anything anymore.
And don't forget, Darth Vader snaps a little kid's neck in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
Oh, be the first
yeah.
one.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty
an adult.
pretty upsetting.
No,
Dude,
I just
he
want to pause
killed
there.
dozens of children in Revenge of the Sith.
Hey,
what are you talking
The bad guy
about?
killed someone.
I'm actually on board with the criticism.
With him killing a child?
No, I'm on board with the criticism of that very moment. We've talked about this a couple of times on our coverage, but it's very specific. I think that Vader, especially post Revenge of the Sith Vader, especially a decade on, he's a very pragmatic killer. I don't believe that he just kills out of like malice or boredom or whatever. And so the argument is, why did he kill that kid there pragmatically?
Yeah.
It's like, well,
that's
it's
not what Mike's saying though.
Well, we'll get that, don't worry. So, like, my argument would be that when he's picking people up and making them scream, it's like, all right, that's perfect. That's going to tempt a Jedi Obi-Wan to try and help. When he just yanks someone and breaks their neck and then sort of moves on, I was like, oh.
Oh, well, I'm not saving him, so I can't do anything about that. So that's that's bad. You know?
Like, yeah, I would go as far as saying like, oh, Vader wouldn't have done that. He's gonna want every last scream out of all of these people as much as possible. The big thing that fucks up in that scene is Kenobi just runs off. Like if
Kenobi just sort of. Yeah, the way that Kenobi is looking through the window or the door at this, he has this like sort of blank expression on his face. Like he doesn't look really concerned. He's just sort of observing Vader, and he's not f***ing off with Leia. He tells it's a really bad scene. All problem, all bad.
And so him simply saying that was like brutal or whatever. Just like, yeah, that wouldn't be my criticism. Like Vader's perfectly capable of doing brutal things or whatever, but it's very specific in context for I don't believe he would do that. Like he drags someone across the floor while they're screaming. I was like, yep, I believe he would probably do that too. He's trying to tempt Obi-Wan out. Also, someone said, "Where's the nuclear take?" That was it. The one where they said Luke in the movie where he like fucking climaxes his hero's journey is where he's a boring priest man who can't act. That was the nuclear take, yeah.
Have they said that before? I feel like I've heard that before.
I really don't think I've heard these takes from them before.
So.
Okay.
Maybe they have, but I don't think so. I feel like that's something I'd remember if I've heard it before. Maybe I just haven't heard it before from them. Because I definitely don't watch other content, so.
He was a little too mean in this, don't you think?
No, it was the appropriate amount of mean.
Appropriate amount of Darth Vader. It wasn't like the end of Rogue One, that hallway scene that everybody jizzed their pants over.
No,
So
that is
apparently
the appropriate amount of Vader.
Rogue One is out of character for him, but he was in character, so...
when Darth Vader allowed the...
When he put him in the fire? Like when he dragged Obi-Wan through the fire?
I'm pretty sure they like that. Yeah, they like that.
When Darth Vader allowed the rebellion to live by not sending a TIE fighter or a Star Destroyer after them, that's in character. But when he's killing rebels to stop them from delivering Death Star plans to the rest of the rebellion, that's
what is out of character.
That's out of character.
What ought he be doing?
Well, so listen to the reasoning. Let's do it.
It's the appropriate amount of Darth Vader. It wasn't like the end of Rogue One, that hallway scene that everybody jizzed their pants over, where he's just slashing everybody and he's like a horror villain.
That is it. Yeah, I wouldn't have cut any more arguments. That was it.
Oh no!
I don't give a shit. I love that.
That's
scene.
not an argument.
Why is it out of character? You didn't say why it was out of character. You just described the scene.
It's so like defensive too, in terms of, or like maybe an insecurity is what I would aim for, because like he's like the people who jizzed over that scene. It's like, can I just say that's what you're doing with this one?
Yeah, when he dragged him through the fire, like people jizzed over that.
Yeah, like. First of all, jizz over what you want. Just don't hurt anyone.
Is he just desperate to not have a popular opinion?
Well, they've always said they hate this scene.
I've always liked it. I've always liked it since the first time I saw it.
I want to take up the wording he has there, because what's wrong with Darth Vader being a horror villain?
I don't know. I legit have no idea.
Isn't that exactly what he should be in that scene?
Well, that's what I love about this. This is what it would be like trying to face Vader as a regular soldier, and it would be horror. Like just holy
it'd be
crap.
horrifying.
You are
useless. You can't do anything.
You have nothing.
Yeah, and I love that they actually have all
He's
of
a
them
god.
shoot at him at once, and that doesn't stop him. Imagine telling people about this. There's a guy out there that a barrage of lasers don't do shit to him.
Hello, you just listened to a segment of the podcast Every Frame a Pause, or EFAP. Hosted by YouTubers Mauler, Rags, and Fringy, and joined by a cycling variety of guests across the internet, they critically analyze media with exhaustive detail while pausing at every single frame. Subscribe to the EFAP channel and catch new episodes on Saturdays, as well as catch their smaller videos reacting to the latest and not-so-greatest movies and TV shows throughout the week. You can also subscribe here to EFAP Highlights for the latest shorts, clips, and supercuts, also uploaded throughout the week. Links to all the relevant channels can be found in the description section below, as well as links to their communities on Reddit and Discord. Thanks for watching.